On the show today, we're talking kids fitness. Hey guys, Stephen Kinsley here for FSM RX'd, and today I'm here on my own. We are starting a lot of our podcasts, which on our YouTube channel. We are on Facebook Live, and we are going to be on YouTube, Podomatic, Spotify soon, and also we are getting ourselves back onto iTunes. We had an issue with the account. We have to take down all the old podcasts and reload them to a kind of new aspect of iTunes. So we're going to be on all those platforms, possibly Stitcher. We're growing the FSM podcast again. And also the vlogs are coming back. We have a few that are going to be coming out. Excuse me. So today on the show we are discussing kids fitness. I was recently at a competition, the Filthy 150, and I was also at Chalkbox, and I've been approached by a lot of coaches about running kids fitness. For people that don't know, FSM has been running a kids fitness program for 5 years. It is the leading kids fitness program in the country. We are a Brand X training center. All our coaches are Brand X. We run a profitable kids program. We've done this because we've put in the work. And it is not an add-on to what we do here at FSM. We train kids, teens, and adults. It's not an add-on. It is it's just as important as the strength and conditioning program. So today on the show, we're going to kind of delve in a little bit of what my thoughts are on growing a kids program, what you need to do to grow it, and how to make it work. And should you do it? That's the main thing. Should you actually run a kids program? It's not for everybody. And again, just the reason why we're doing this show is because of the conversations I've had with people. A lot of people like the idea of it, but they don't want to do it themselves. So we're going to delve in. So what is kids fitness? Firstly, it's still a little bit of a taboo. It's not known, it's not understood that kids fitness or strength and conditioning, that kids shouldn't lift weights. Kids shouldn't move more. They should, like, if they play sports, but not all kids like to play sports or like to play team sports. Kids fitness it's not CrossFit, it's not functional, it's more along the lines of controlled movement and teaching good patterns. So when it comes to, let's say, our program, we teach our kids how to crawl, we teach them how to roll, tumble, perform handstands, learn good mechanics in the air squat, learn how to pick up objects safely, and then we do fitness or conditioning. But we wouldn't run it, let's say, like a CrossFit style. We don't teach thrusters, we don't teach Olympic lifting well into the training age evolves of the child. Just because you're older doesn't mean you should do it. And just because you can as well doesn't mean you should do it. So kids fitness for FSM is a strength and conditioning program for kids between the ages of 7 to 12, and I'll explain why we only do 7 to 12 years of age. We teach the basic humans of functional movement. We teach people how to squat, hinge, lift, pull, push, and carry. Kind of along the lines of Dan John's methods of the basic human movements. I believe strongly in this because kids have time. They have lots of time to develop, and they don't need to do an awful lot of bad mechanics. If you give a kid a bar or over their head, or teach them to snatch and they're 6 and it's an amazing YouTube video or it's a clip on Instagram, that's all well and good. But going from a top position to the bottom position is not important. It's how they got there. So example, we seen a kid back squat, I think it was 60 kilos or 50 kilos. Kid could have been no more than 9-10 years of age. She went down and she went up, but how she got down there was horrendous. Okay, and her coach, or I'm assuming her father, was giving her high fives and rah-rahs, and it was bullshit in my opinion, because that child's knees touched as she went down, so there's no core and there's no mechanics in her lifting. Her body's imbalanced. She should have never had that weight on her back. Also, we've seen kids do snatch work. Again, they have a bar above their head. The coach is holding the bar, so realistically, they're not doing the movement because their coach is spotting the snatch. And if you're a weightlifting coach or know anything about Olympic lifting, you don't spot Olympic lifting. So you see that, and the kid goes down and up, and again, she comes down, everything buckles in, core collapses, shoulders rotate forward, and then she struggles to get out, and she gets a high five, and everyone's like, yeah. But that's not good. You're actually promoting bad movement, and you're high-fiving and rewarding bad movement, which is absolutely, in my opinion, horrendous, and any good coach would agree with me. So, is kids fitness dangerous? No, not if it's done properly, okay? If you're teaching kids programming and you're doing the correct methods and you're teaching basic movements, it is not dangerous for kids. There is no actual research to prove that weightlifting will damage growth plates or ligaments and tendons, and anyone that says that, please contact me and send me those research papers, because I'd love to read them. I really would. The risk of injury in weightlifting or strength and conditioning is 0.03, as last time I checked, which is phenomenally low compared to any other sport out there. Okay, any other team sport the kids play or individual sport. So the injury rate is so low. But again, it's all based. Like, you can have a good guy that teaches, or a good coach that teaches football, and goes through the basic mechanics of football, or you can have a bad coach that just hurts his players. Same with personal training, same with strength and conditioning for adults, teens, and kids. You can have a good coach that is passionate about what they do and won't let a person do a movement if it doesn't look good. Or you have a coach that goes, yeah, just do what you want, and is willing to hurt a child to make him feel better about a child lifting a weight or doing some high skilled movement. So it is 100% safe. So moving on from there, sorry, let me just have some Joe. It is early on a Saturday morning. Okay, so when it comes to kids movement at FSM, before we go into running a kids program, at FSM we spend a lot of time on the basics of 3 movements. We've got the sumo deadlift, we've got the low bar back squat, and then we've got the strict press. And the reason why we focus on that, and we have the equipment, we have 4 kilo weight bars, we use a lot of PVC pipes. In our gym, you must show control in your movement. You must be able to demonstrate the low bar back squat for 10 really good reps, not perfect reps because we don't believe in perfection, because it's an unachievable goal. We believe in progression every day. So, and Johnny Smith, I give a shout out to Johnny, my brand X mentor. He's the one that, he says he coined the phrase of progression, not perfection, and I stole it. So he's a bit annoyed, but he'll get the royalties of the t-shirts himself. So when it comes to your squatting, and a child in our class must demonstrate 10 good reps with PVC pipe without coaching. So we'll coach them through it, we'll teach them mechanics, but then they must demonstrate 10 good reps. And that could take weeks, months. Kids could progress to a bar and then lose it as a growth spurt happens, and then go back to a PVC pipe. We make all children understand that that is the requirement. And it's not a bad thing that happens, it just happens and we fix it. And the same with the sumo deadlift, and the same with the strict press. Once we know that we can coach them through that very comfortably, we progress them to a bar, and then we'll progress them with weight if we feel that it's safe for them to do so, and there's no buckling, and they're able to brace, they understand their core, they understand breathing, and they understand how to lift correctly. Moving on from that, we spend at least, say, 8 months to a year on those movements with our new kids. We've kids in our program now 4 or 5 years. We've just created an advanced program for our kids program, and 4 weeks ago we started our program, and we started with Olympic weightlifting for the clean, the hang clean, and we started front squats. Every single child that we had in our program, there's 11 of them now, in our advanced program, who've spent the last year to 2 years doing basic strength movements, have took to Olympic lifting on day 1. because they knew how to brace, they nailed the front squat, and they got the push press very easily. They can also do handstands, they can tumble, some can do pull-ups, some can do handstand push-ups, but all under strict. There's no kipping taught at FSM for kids because it's not required. Okay? So when you're programming, you gotta go simple. Kids have loads of time. So getting into the actual business aspect of running a kids program, should you run a kids program? Firstly, starting a kids program, a lot of people tell me, oh, I want to start a kids program. But realistically, what is the purpose? Why do you want to start kids? All right, so we started an FSM kids program because we did a seminar with Jeff and Mickey Martin before Brand X was associated with someone else. We did the Brand X, the first one held in Europe. I felt that kids just playing sports is not enough. So I went and researched and I went and did a seminar. When I opened our kids program, I was passionate about starting a kids program and I wanted to make sure that it worked. It's one of the things that I actually personally wanted to achieve. Regardless of how the gym was doing, I wanted to run a successful kids program. We started off with 2 kids. We moved to 2 kids, 2 coaches with an intern. And I'd say for the first 3-4 months, we had between 2 to 4 kids. And every week we coached, regardless. 1 turned up, we coached. 2 turned up, we coached. 4 turned up, we coached. Over the time, word spread, because 5 years ago, kids fitness was very small. Not too many people were doing it, and if they were doing it, they weren't doing it right, and that's why they did not succeed. So when we started our kids program, we kept grinding away. We didn't do 6-week terms. We did 6-week terms, but we never took time off. We didn't go and take the summer off. We ran and ran and ran and ran. To now, where we run 5 classes a week. All classes are full. We have a normal program and an advanced program, which was an evolution. We only moved into a new class when we maxed out a class. So if we maxed out our Saturday, we moved to Monday. We maxed out Monday, moved to Wednesday. Maxed out Wednesday, moved to Thursday. And now we're back on Saturday and maxed out another class that we're doing. We have all our coaches are Brand X certified. But the thing about it is that we are passionate about what we do and finding the right coach and what is for you. If you are starting a kids program because it's an add-on to your gym, I think that's the wrong idea. If you're starting a kids program because you think, oh, I can make some money here, that is definitely the worst thing you can do. If you want to start a kids program because you're actually passionate about running, helping kids develop a lifestyle of fitness, that is the ideal. But I'll give you my honesty. I started a kids program because I know I can do it. I like coaching kids. I'm good at my job, and I knew I could make it profitable. Now, for over 2 years, it wasn't. Right now, FSM's kids program, just taking it on its own, can pay for its coaching staff and pay for extra. That's where we are. As we grow, we plan to grow another up to 10 classes per week in the next year to 2 years. That's with 12 to 16 kids per class. We're going to be able to sustain close enough to full-time employment for 1 or 2 coaches, or even a good 20 hours a week for part-time coaches, and that's our goal. We have other goals with our kids program, but we're not going to go into that today. I'm not giving away all our secrets. But yeah, if you think if you want to go into running a kids program just for the sole purpose of making extra money, it's not worth it. It won't be worth it for quite some time, and if you're not actually invested in the kids program, it won't work. We get people all the time saying, oh, we want to run a kids program, but we want someone to run it first. Then you're not invested in the kids program, and then just to throw a PT under the bus or throw just a random coach to run kids because I'll coach kids because I can make some more money, that is 100% wrong. And the reason why I'm saying this is because in 5 years, and actually before that, there was people that started kids programs before that. In the last 5 years, I've seen people open up kids programs time and time again, only for them to stop. They don't do them during the summer. They do 6 weeks, 6-week terms, and then you don't see them for 3 months, and they're advertising again. If you're not consistent about running a kids program, if you're not consistent about every week running a kids program, why do you think it's going to be successful? It's not. It's just life. You don't open your gym for 6 weeks, shut it down because you didn't want to coach anymore, or there wasn't. If one person turns up for class, you coach and you grow it, and then you market it well, and you put a lot of passion. You make sure the parents know that what you do works, and make sure the parents know that you care about them giving you their children to work with to make them fit and healthy, and building a level of fitness that it's a day-to-day thing for kids, where climbing, running, jumping, and all the stuff that kids are missing out on these days is natural and normal, and parents can see that there's a passion there when we coach, and that's why our kids program is so successful. Also, don't open a kids program assuming because I have 200 members that I will get all of their kids. About 10% of our members, kids, come to our class. Everything else is outside of the gym. They are not our members. Don't just assume that, as though we see that all the time. Oh, we've got loads of members, we're going to do this. It doesn't work. Just saying it doesn't work. It's not worth it, and you're only going to get burned by it. If it has worked, again, let me know. I've never seen it work. People open kids programs and they fail for that pure reason. And again, that's where we see it. Can you have passion, make money, do both? That's the goal. That was my goal. I wanted to make money, but I was more so passionate about the kids program. But I was that passionate about it, I knew I'd make the kids program profitable. Sorry, making money and making profit is slightly different. So it's profitable, and that's where we want to be. And I think that you need to kind of take stock if you are going to run a kids program, and make sure that those things are in your head, that you're passionate about it. Hiring someone, if you're hiring a coach, hey, would you run kids class? Of course they're going to say yes, because they want the job. They want a job because it pays money. I think that you should really, really invest someone that really wants to work kids. We've had 4 kids coaches, 5 kids coaches that are qualified through the Band X method. 2 no longer, or 3. 1 helps out with camps. 2 no longer are here. 1's moved, and then I have myself and Coach Reen that are still here. Every single one of them are passionate about working with kids. 1 works for a creche, ran a creche. 1 was a high-end, kind of looked after children and a nanny. 1 was a school teacher, and 1 was a teenager. So everyone we had was actually passionate about what they do, and working with kids. So kind of when you're looking for someone, don't just look for a coach. Look for their background and their hobbies and what they do. And again, also, just because they have kids doesn't make them a good kids coach. Not saying it won't, but I'm just saying don't rely on that either. So, is a kids program, running a kids program in your box or training facility, a good thing for you? Not necessarily. It mightn't work for you because it just mightn't be your dynamic. It mightn't work with your kind of atmosphere of your gym, and what you like to teach and promote. At FSM now, excuse me, a lot of people know that FSM isn't a huge facility. It's just it's roughly 2,000 square foot. We run our gym very well. We don't allow anything to happen in the gym when the kids programming is on. Adults aren't allowed in training. PTs aren't allowed to come in and work. No coaches are allowed to train. When kids is on, it's kids only. And we do that because we don't like distractions. We don't want rah-rah, we don't want bad music, we don't want people slamming weights. We want to put our full 100% focus on the kids. It is just, to me, it's very important. And if we ever were to move to a bigger facility, that would still be the same principle. We would not allow people operate training or run training programs while our kids programming is on. People might say, well, you could be losing money there. I would rather lose money and do it right, but we are profitable. I'd rather lose money on it than renting rooms and kind of distracting the kids from what we do. When it comes to actually setting up your kids program, I do suggest that you educate yourself 100%. Now, there is a bunch of different certs out there that you can go and get. But I'm gonna sing for this one. The Brand X method is the best in the world. They're the best in the world, and I know people say CrossFit Kids and a few other brands. They created the CrossFit Kids brand. Let's be honest. Back in the day, they created it. I did it. it was a very good course, thoroughly enjoyable. But from that to what Brand X does now is a whole different ballgame. If you want to take your kids programming, or if you want to start kids program, seek out the Brand X method at brandx.com. Their stuff is amazing, and it will also teach you a lot about not going too crazy on your programming and trying to impress children with stuff, and rather just give them the basics and build on basics. The foundations of movement is key, and they don't need to be rushed into high-end movements like Olympic weightlifting and high-skill gymnastics. So educating yourself. Also, if you're running a kids program, you also need to make sure your insurance covers it, because most insurances for gyms are not covered for kids. You got to double check that. And then that each individual coach is insured personally by themselves to cover their ass in case anything goes wrong and the gym isn't covered, but it should be. You also need to get guarded vetted. And it's not just you. If you run a kids program, everyone in your building needs to be guarded vetted. Everyone that works, from the coach that doesn't like kids to the cleaning lady to anyone that comes in and works in your building on a weekly basis, needs to be guarded vetted. And that is a law that came out last year. So you need to double check that. And if you don't have that, again guys, this is a duty of care. Okay, it's not something that you 100% advertise on your website. You don't have to, but it's just, you should do this. And if you don't, you're not that into it. Vetting is very cheap, and if you need links, I can help you out with that. So making sure that when you're starting your program itself, my suggestion is to start small. Start your program quite small when you start out, and the reason for that is that start small and grow. It's better that way. If you try and run a kids program day one, 16, 20 kids, it won't work with one coach. It just won't work, because you're only new to the program, and coaching kids is a lot different from coaching adults. I think you should start off with about 6 kids, run that for about 2 to 3 months, get them well in on the movements, and then you can open it up to more, because then you have 6 kids that know the movements, and kids like to fall in line with what other kids are doing. We call them super coaches. We bring them up, we get them to demo, we get our kids to demonstrate different movements when they're very efficient at those movements, because it works like that. And I think that's the best way to grow a kids program. Start off with one class and then move into a second class, and definitely split up your programming. So our age groups are 7 to 12. The reason why we're 7 to 12 is because when one of our actual junior class, our 4 to 6 year old, that went really quiet for a while, and then the coach that generally ran that moved country. So personally for me, I don't want to coach 4 to 6 year olds because it takes a lot more energy, and I'm just not that type of person. I prefer the 7 to 12 year olds. Why did I say 7 to 12s instead of 6 to 12s? I find that there's a big difference between a 6 year old and a 7 year old in regards to maturity. That's not always the case, but you have to draw a line somewhere. If you have someone that's interested in running with kids programs younger, that's awesome, and we're actually in the market for looking for someone. So if you want to do that and you're interested, let me know. Then you move into your teens, and teens is a whole different thing, but we're talking about kids today. As I said, you should start small. And when you start working with kids, they have time, right? They have loads and loads of time. They're, like I said, like our youngest kid will be 7. They have loads of time to learn movement. So you spend, and they don't know any different, okay? They don't know any different between doing high skill movements and doing the basics. Our kids, you can watch some of our videos, they know what the sumo deadlift is. They've never been taught the conventional deadlift because we don't need to teach it. We prefer the sumo deadlift for kids because it's more natural in regards to you would stand over an object, not have an object outside you. And we teach them the low bar back squat because we find that there's a better transfer of building hamstrings and power in the low bar back squat than the high bar back squat when it comes to squatting. These aspects can be taught for months on end. For 6 months, we rotated lower back squat to sumo deadlift for 6 straight months. And each kid, some kids had bars, some kids had bars with weights, and some kids were on PFC pipes. When we teach, we explain to everyone that movement comes first. Quality of movement is key, and as they build on that, that is what we want. if a kid, as I said earlier, if a kid loses movement, like through growth spurts, like we had one girl, exceptional squatter, went through a month of like crazy growing, like her legs just like sprouted out, and she lost her mechanics. She found, because her muscles hadn't, her nervous system hadn't caught up to her growth, things were going off, and she found her squat. So she went from weighted bar back to PVC pipe. But she was upset about that, as a 10-year-old would be. But we explained to her that it's normal, it's an everyday occurrence, so we know you can do it, we just got to reteach it and you'll be back to normal. Within 2 to 3 weeks, her body had adapted, her muscles had adapted, her nervous system adapted, and she was able to go back onto the squat. And then it took her a while to get back up to the weight that she'd normally use, but it went well. And then you got to look at the different dynamics of kids. Like a lot of kids, like, so you've got wallflower kids, you've always got the kid that's very like the gung-ho kid, and how you deal and address with them, the discipline aspect of running a kids program. It's not just a free-for-all, because you are in a gym, there is equipment, you don't want anyone to hurt themselves. And setting out rules. At the start of every class, one of the big things that we do at FSM, start every single class we do the rules. And there is, we have a few rules, I won't go through them all, but the two of the main rules is never talk when the coach is talking. That is one of our primary rules, because if you're not, and then when we ask the rules, we ask why. So if a child goes, never talk when the coach is talking, I'll go, why? Because if you're talking, you're disrupting the room. If you're disrupting the room, you're taking away from other people learning. And we drill that rule every single week, every single class. And no one is above the rules at FSM. If you break a rule, you get put out. You'll get to talk to me. You'll explain to me then why you broke that rule. So I'll go over and I'll ask you why you did what you do. And this doesn't give me an answer. And then they'll be left there until they apologize to the class, because they disrupted the class from learning. I personally think this is a great fundamental lesson for children. One of our other rules is respect. And this is a big thing, because a lot of kids programs that we see, everyone wants, oh, we're all happy. Not every child will like every child, and not every child is going to be friends with everyone. Okay, but you respect the fact that they're going to be there. So if someone makes a mistake in a tumble, or someone makes a mistake in a movement, and kids giggle and laugh, that is a lack of, and we know that this happens, but we feel it's a lack of respect. So you respect everyone in the room regardless of their ability. And why? We respect everyone in the room regardless of their ability, because everyone is here to get better and be a better version of themselves. You don't have to like everyone in the room, just like in life, you don't have to like everyone. But anyone that comes through the doors of FSM, we respect the fact that they're here to make a change for the better, and to move better, and just to progress their fitness and their health. And that trickles down into our kids program. So if you're running a kids program, I do believe that you should have a set of rules, and they should be written on the board, and you should run through them every single class. And it's actually at the point where our advanced kids actually come out in front, and they ask people the rules, and then they ask why with a supervising coach, because we get our kids to be more, it builds more confidence in that aspect. So guys, should you run a kids program? If you're passionate, if you think that you have the ability to impact a child's life in a positive way, then yes, 100%. Where should you go? Get yourself educated, get vetted, get your insurance right. Start off small. Can it be profitable? 100% profitable. If you don't believe me, check out Fitter Futures in Australia from Sam Matters. She runs a primarily full-time kids and teens program. Or check out Megan and Matt in Kids Strong from Texas. They have over 500 kids in their program, and they run a full-time kids fitness only gym. It is doable, but you have to have the want, right? You have to have want to be to work with kids, a passion for it. Guys, that is the end of this FSM RX'd show. Thank you, Facebook Live. Again, you can check us out on Spotify, well, soon to be on Spotify, Podomatic, iTunes, YouTube. If you like the show on YouTube, guys, please give us a like, subscribe. We'll leave a positive comment. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. But until next time, same bad channel. See you all later. Boom.